For years, software companies sold tools. A customer paid for a seat. An employee logged in. The software helped that employee do a job. The worker still performed the work. The software made the worker faster. AI agents change that equation. An agent does not only help a person complete a task. It can complete part of the task itself. It can open systems, read files, search the web, write messages, update records, create reports, check results, use other software, make decisions inside defined limits, and keep working after the human has stopped typing. That difference may create one of the biggest business model shifts in the history of software. The old software industry sold access. The new agent industry wants to sell completed work. That sounds simple. It is not. When a company sells software by the seat, the price is easy to understand. One employee, one account, one monthly fee. The customer pays even if the employer uses the product lightly. The software company earns high margins because delivering one more login often costs very little. This is the foundation of modern software as a service. Salesforce sold customer relationship management seats. Microsoft sold productivity seats. Adobe sold creative software subscription. ServiceNow sold workflow platform. Atlassian sold collaboration seats. The customer connected the number of users to the software bill. AI agents make the user count less useful. One agent can work for one employee, or 100 employees, or 1 million customers. An agent can run every day, every hour, every minute. It may use 5 model calls to complete one task, or 500. It may replace a few minutes of work, or an entire process. It may create value without any employee logging in. How should the software company charge for that? Per user no longer tells the full story. Per token does not tell the customer what value was created. Per action can become confusing. Per task sounds simple until one task contains 50 hidden steps. Per outcome sounds attractive until companies argue about who caused the outcome. The business model behind AI agents is a fight to answer one question. What exactly is being sold? Is it intelligence, compute, software access, automation, labor, results, risk transfer, a platform, a workforce? Different companies are giving different answers. That is why the AI agent market looks chaotic. One vendor charges a subscription. Another charges for tokens. Another uses credits. Another charges per conversation. Another charges for every action the agent performs. Another sells a platform license plus usage. Another promises to charge only when the agent resolves the problem. Another sells consulting and integration because the software alone is not enough. All of these models can work. None has clearly won. The winner may depend on the type of work. A coding agent is different from a customer support agent. A sales agent is different from a legal research agent. A finance agent is different from a travel agent. A personal assistant is different from an enterprise workflow agent. The value is different. The risk is different. The cost structure is different. The person controlling the budget is different. This means there may never be one universal business model for AI agents, but there are patterns. To understand them, we need to understand what an agent actually is. A chatbot waits. The user asks a question. The chatbot responds. The interaction usually ends with text. An agent receives a goal. It decides what steps may be required. It uses tools. It observes what happened. It adjusts. It continues until the task is completed, blocked, or handed back to a human. A model is the brain. The tools are the hands. The data is the memory. The permissions are the bad. The workflow is the job. The logs are the supervision. The human is the manager. The business model can attach to any of these layers. A model provider charges for intelligence. A cloud company charges for computing. An agent platform charges for building and running workflows. A software company charges because the agent operates inside its system. A security company charges to control permission. A data company charges for access to trusted information. An integration company charges to connect the agent to tools. A marketplace takes a cut when agents are bought and sold. A consulting firm charges to redesign the business process. A vertical agent company charges for a completed job. The customer sees one digital worker. Behind it is a chain of companies collecting money. This is why the AI agent economy may become larger than the chatbot economy. A chatbot mainly creates content. An agent enters workflows. Workflows contain budgets. Budgets are much larger than software subscription. A company may pay $30 per month for a writing assistant. It may pay thousands of dollars to automate invoice processing, tens of thousands to reduce customer support volume, millions to improve sales conversion, much more to change how software is built, how claims are processed, or how supply chains are managed. The closer the agent gets to a valuable business process, the more pricing power the vendor may gain. This is the first rule of the agent business. Do not price the intelligence. Price the value of the work. Model providers often charge by tokens because tokens are measurable. A token is a small piece of text processed by the model. Input tokens enter. Output tokens leave. Long prompts cost more. Long answers cost more. Reasoning can cost more. Images, audio, and video have their own units. Tools may create additional charges. For developers, this is useful. They can estimate infrastructure cost. The companies buying an agent do not care about tokens in the same way. A customer service manager does not wake up thinking, I need 10 million output tokens. The manager thinks, I need fewer unresolved tickets, shorter waiting times, lower cost per case, higher customer satisfaction, better support coverage. A finance leader does not want model calls. They want invoices processed correctly. A sales leader does not want agent steps. They want qualified meetings and revenue. This creates a gap between how AI costs are produced and how AI value is understood. The vendor pays by compute. The customer wants to pay by outcome. The agent company sits between them. This can be a great business. It can also be a dangerous one. Imagine an agent company charges $1 to resolve a support ticket. The model and toll costs are 10 cents. The gross margin looks strong. Then a difficult ticket requires 20 attempts, several searches, a human review, and a refund. The cost rises above the price. The agent company loses money. Traditional software is predictable delivery cost. Agent IC software can have variable cost for every task. This makes the economics more similar to a service business. The company must understand how much work the agent performs, how often it fails, how many times it retries, which model it uses, how much human supervision is required, how much customer data must be stored, how many external tools charge fees, how often the workflow changes. A beautiful demo can hide terrible unit economics. This is the second rule. An agent is not profitable because it can complete the task once. It is profitable when it can complete the task repeatedly at a predictable cost. Predictability matters more than magic. The first time an agent books a meeting automatically, everyone is impressed. The 1,000th time, the finance team asks how much it costs. The 1,000,000th time, the infrastructure team asks whether the system can scale. The business model becomes real only at volume. This is why companies are creating credit systems. Credits hide technical complexity. The vendor may use many models, tools, searches, and workflows. The customer sees one currency. Microsoft uses Copilot credits across agent usage. Salesforce offers Flex credits and other pricing options for Agent Force. Other platforms use actions, assists, conversations, runs, or automation units. The name changes. The logic is the same. Turn unpredictable machine activity into a meter the customer can buy. Credits make billing flexible. They also make pricing harder to understand. One action may consume a certain number of credits. A more complicated workflow may consume more. A conversation may trigger many actions. A customer may not know the final bill until usage grows. This feels familiar to anyone who has used cloud computing. The cloud made infrastructure easy to start and difficult to predict. AI agents may do the same for labor automation. A pilot looks cheap, then adoption spreads. More employees build agents. Agents call other agents. Workflows become longer. Usage explodes. The customer receives a bill nobody expected. This is why cost controls are becoming part of the product. Budgets, limits, alerts, usage estimators, department-level reporting, model routing, approval rules. The vendor that helps customers control cost may gain trust. The vendor that creates surprise bills may slow adoption. The credit model gives software companies a way to preserve recurring revenue while moving beyond seats. The customer may still pay a platform subscription, then buy credits for usage. This hybrid model is likely to become common. Base fee plus consumption. The base fee pays for access, governance, support, and platform features. Usage pays for the work. Cloud companies already use this logic. AI agents make it visible inside business software. The third rule is that the platform fee and the labor fee may become separate. A company pays to own the factory, then pays when the factory produces. This creates attractive economics for the vendor. Revenue from the platform is predictable. Usage revenue grows with customer success. If the agent completes more work, the vendor earns more. The incentives can align, not only if the customer also receives more value. A badly designed consumption model punishes adoption. The company saves $1 and pays the vendor $2. The project stops, and those successful agent vendors will price below the value created while maintaining margin above the cost delivered. That sounds obvious. Measuring it is hard. Consider a sales development agent. It researches accounts, finds contacts, writes personalized emails, sends messages, updates the CRM, follows up, books meetings. What is the unit of value? An email sent, a lead researched, a contact reached, a positive reply, a qualified meeting, a closed deal. Each unit changes the risk. If the vendor charges per email, revenue is easy to measure. The customer carries the risk that the emails are useless. If the vendor charges per qualified meeting, the vendor carries more risk. It must deliver a valuable result. The price can be much higher, but arguments begin. Was the meeting really qualified? Would the sales team have booked it anyway? Did the deal close because of the agent or because of the account executive? What if the customer cancels? Outcome pricing sounds clean in a presentation. Attribution makes it messy. This is one reason many agent companies start with usage pricing. Usage is measurable. Value is debatable. Over time, vendors may move closer to outcomes as they gather data and trust. The path may look like, first, charge per user, then charge per action, then charge per workflow, then charge per successful result. Each step moves the vendor closer to the customer's budget. It also moves more risk onto the vendor. The highest value business model may require the strongest operational capability. A customer support agent shows the same pattern. A vendor can charge per conversation. That is easy. But one conversation can be a greeting. Another can involve a complicated billing dispute. Charging the same amount feels unfair. The vendor can charge per resolved case. Now value is clearer. But what counts as resolved? The customer may reopen the case. The answer may be wrong. The customer may leave angry but never respond. The agent may transfer to a human after wasting time. The system needs definition, resolution rate, containment rate, reopen rate, escalation quality, customer satisfaction, refund cost, compliance error. The business model depends on measurement. This makes observability a financial layer. Logs are not only for debugging. They determine billing. Evils are not only for safety. They prove the company that can show exactly what the agent did, why it did it, how much it cost, and what outcome followed has a pricing advantage. This is why agent analytics may become a large software category. A normal software product measures users and clicks. An agent platform must measure work, tasks attempted, tasks completed, steps taken, tools used, time saved, human interventions, errors, revenue created, risk avoided. These metrics connect activity to business value. Without them, the customer cannot justify spending. This creates an entire market around agent observability. Developers need traces. Managers need dashboards. Finance teams need cost allocation. Security teams need permission logs. Compliance teams need evidence. Executives need return on investment. One agent produces many audiences. The vendor that owns the measurement layer can become powerful. This is the fourth rule. In the agent economy, the company that measures the work may influence how the work is priced. The same thing happened in advertising. Platforms that measured clicks and conversions shaped how advertising was bought. Cloud companies measured compute and shaped infrastructure pricing. Agent platforms may measure tasks and shape digital labor pricing. This is where the phrase digital labor becomes important. Software companies have always sold productivity. Now some are selling an alternative to labor cost. That changes the size of the market. The global software market is large. The global labor market is much larger. If an agent can perform work previously done by people, the vendor can argue that the relevant comparison is not another software subscription. It is salary, benefits, recruiting, turnover, management, office cost, time zones, capacity limits. This can justify higher prices. A company may hesitate to pay $500 per month for software. It may happily pay $500 if the agent replaces $5,000 of recurring work. The framing changes procurement. The buyer may move from the IT budget to the operating budget. This is a major opportunity. It is also politically sensitive. Selling software is easy to discuss. Selling labor replacement is not. Employees worry about jobs. Managers worry about culture. Governments worry about unemployment. Customers worry about quality. Vendors often use softer language. Assist, augment, collaborate, handle routine work. Free people for higher value tasks. Sometimes this is true. Sometimes the business case depends on reducing headcount. The economics should not be hidden. If the agent does not reduce cost, increase revenue, improve speed, or reduce risk, why buy it? The value must come from somewhere. The earliest agent deployments often target work that is repetitive, high volume, and easy to measure. Customer support try-in, IT ticket routing, document extraction, invoice processing, appointment scheduling, lead research, software testing, basic code generation, knowledge search. These tasks have clear inputs and outputs. The agent can operate inside boundaries. The customer can compare performance with the existing process. This makes pricing easier. Complex jobs are harder. Legal strategy, executive decision, medical diagnosis, negotiation, creative direction. The value is high but difficult to measure. The risk is high. Human judgment remains central. Agents may assist rather than replace. The business model stays closer to subscription or usage. This creates two broad markets. Agents as tools. Agents as workers. Tool agents sit beside employees. They are priced like software. Worker agents own a task. They are priced like operations. The same vendor may offer both. A coding agent can be a tool when suggesting code. It becomes a worker when assigned a bud, allowed to edit the repository, run tests, and open a pull request. The more autonomy it receives, the more the pricing model can move from seat to work. Coding is one of the most important agent markets because the value is large and the output is measurable. Software teams understand productivity. They can compare time to complete tasks, pull requests, bugs fixed, tests passed, deployment speed. Coding agents also consume substantial computation. Long sessions may read large code bases, run tools, and iterate. This makes usage-based pricing natural. Developers may pay per seat for access. Heavy users may face limits or additional usage charges. Enterprise customers may negotiate capacity. The business model combines subscription and compute. The agent vendor must avoid a difficult trap. The best users may be the most expensive users. In normal software, a highly engaged user is attractive. The delivery cost remains low. In AI, a heavy user can consume large amounts of model capacity. A flat subscription can become unprofitable. This is why AI plans often include limits, premium tiers, or usage policies. The company needs predictable revenue. The user wants unlimited value. The cost of intelligence sits between them. Over time, model efficiency may reduce cost. Competition may lower API prices. Specialized models may handle routine steps. Caching may reduce repeated work. Local models may process private tasks. Agent companies will use routing. Small model for easy work. Large model for hard work. Rules for deterministic steps. Human approval for risky actions. This architecture is not only technical. It is the business model. Every unnecessary frontier model call reduces margin. The profitable agent will not use the smartest model for everything. It will use the cheapest system that can complete each step reliably. This is similar to a company assigning work. A senior lawyer does not photocopy documents. A specialist does not answer every routine email. Labor is rooted by cost and skill. Agent systems will do the same. Model routing becomes workforce management. The agent company may combine several models from different providers, one for reasoning, one for extraction, one for voice, one for vision, one for low-cost classification. The user sees one agent. Behind it is a digital team. This weakens the idea that one model provider will capture all agents. The model is important. The workflow may be more valuable. A model can be replaced if another becomes cheaper or better. The business logic, customer integration, data, evaluation, and user relationship can remain. This is why many agent startups do not want to be simple wrappers. A wrapper sends a prompt to a model and returns the answer. It has little protection. An agent company wants to own the process. Permissions, tool connections, memory, specialized data, approval rules, industry knowledge, outcome measurement. The more deeply it enters the workflow, the harder it becomes to replace. This is the fifth rule. The model may be the intelligence. The workflow is the moat. A customer support agent connected to the ticket system, refund policy, order database, identity service, knowledge base, and quality rules is more valuable than a general chatbot. A healthcare agent connected to scheduling, insurance verification, clinical policies, and patient records creates specialized value. A finance agent connected to invoices, contracts, bank data, and approval chains becomes part of operation. The agent is useful because it knows where to work and what it is allowed to do. This creates an advantage for existing software companies. Salesforce already owns customer data and sales work. ServiceNow already owns IT and enterprise workflows. Microsoft owns productivity tools identity, mail documents, and enterprise distribution. Google owns workspace and cloud infrastructure. The SAP owns core business records. Oracle owns databases and enterprise applications. These companies can place agents inside systems customers already use. They do not need to convince the customer to move all the data. The data is already there. The permissions are already there. The contracts are already there. The distribution is already there. This is why the agent war is also a software platform war. A startup may build a better agent. The incumbent controls the workflow. The startup must integrate with the incumbent. The incumbent can add a similar feature. The customer may prefer one vendor. Distribution can beat product quality. But incumbents have weaknesses. Their software can be complex. Their agents may be tied to one ecosystem. Pricing can be expensive. Innovation can move slowly. Startups can focus on one job. Design the workflow from the beginning around autonomy. Deliver better results. move faster, serve overlooked industries. The market may split. Large platforms provide general agent infrastructure. Vertical companies provide specialized digital work. This resembles cloud computing. Amazon, Microsoft, and Google provide infrastructure. Thousands of software companies build applications above it. Agent platforms may become the new cloud layer for labor. The platform offers models, tools, memory, security, deployment, and billing. The application company turns that into a specific worker. The customer pays both, directly or indirectly. This creates a value chain. At the bottom are chips and energy, then cloud computing, then model providers, then agent frameworks, then data and tool connections, then application, then distribution, then governance and security, then professional services. Every layer wants margin. The total price must still be lower than the value created. If too many companies take a cut, the agent becomes uneconomic. This pressure will drive consolidation. Some agent companies will build their own infrastructure. Some model providers will move into application. Some software platforms will include agents in larger subscription. Some marketplaces will negotiate lower model prices. The stack will compress. The customer does not want 8 bills for one digital worker. The winner may bundle the chain. This is why platform companies have an advantage. They can subsidize one layer to win another. Microsoft can include some AI capabilities inside Microsoft Sunil to protect the suite. Salesforce can use Agentforce to increase the value of CRM and Data Cloud. A model provider can price an agent aggressively to increase age. A cloud provider can discount models to sell compute. A startup without a larger business must make profit on the agent itself. Competition is not equal. The sixth rule is that agent pricing may be used strategically, not only economically. A company may give away a basic agent to protect distribution. Charge for premium actions. Charge for data access. Charge for governance. Charge for enterprise controls. Charge for integrations. Charge for higher limits. The free agent becomes the entrance. The platform collects money elsewhere. This is familiar. Google gave away search and sold advertising. Microsoft bundled software and sold enterprise agreement. Cloud providers offer free credits and charge at scale. Agent companies will create similar funnels. The consumer agent may be the business agent may be expensive. Why? Consumer users have limited willingness to pay. Businesses can measure value. A personal agent that saves 1 hour per week feels useful. A business agent that saves 10,000 employee hours has a budget. This pushes the industry toward enterprise markets. Consumer agents can still create enormous value through subscriptions, advertising, commerce, and transactions. A personal shopping agent may earn commission. A travel agent may receive booking fees. A financial agent may receive referral revenue. A local service agent may collect lead fees. The user may not pay directly. The merchant pays for access to the user's intent. This is the commerce business model. It is powerful and dangerous. An agent is trusted to act for the user. A merchant wants the agent to choose its product. Who does the agent serve? If the agent turns more commission from one seller, recommendations can become biased. This is the same conflict that exists in search marketplaces and financial advice. Agents make it more personal. The agent may know the user's budget, preferences, location, history, and urgency. That information makes recommendations valuable. It also makes commercial influence harder to see. A transparent agent may say, "This option is sponsored. This one pays a commission. This recommendation is independent." A dishonest system may hide the incentive. Trust will determine whether transaction-based agent models succeed. The seventh rule is that an agent cannot be both a trusted representative and a secret salesperson forever. The conflict must be managed. Marketplaces are another possible business. Companies may create agent store. Developers publish agents. Users install them. The platform reviews security, provides identity, handles billing, takes a percentage. This looks like the App Store model. The opportunity is obvious. Millions of specialized agents, one distribution platform, one payment system, one permission layer, one discovery engine. The platform collects a cut, but agents are more dangerous than apps. An app usually waits for the user. An agent can act. It may access email, files, banking, customer records, company systems. A bad agent can cause real damage. The marketplace must evaluate more than software quality. It must evaluate behavior, permissions, data handling, tool access, updates, model changes. The same agent can behave differently depending on the environment. This makes marketplace governance difficult. The platform may be liable when an approved agent causes harm. High trust can become a moat. Companies may prefer agents from a marketplace with strong security and support. This gives Microsoft, Salesforce, Google, ServiceNow, and other enterprise platforms an advantage. They already manage identity and permission. They can become the trusted store for digital workers. A small open marketplace may move faster. An enterprise marketplace can charge more. The business model may resemble app stores, cloud marketplaces, and labor platforms at the same time. The platform matches supply and demand. Developers build agents. Businesses hire them. The platform handles contracts and infrastructure. This raises a strange future possibility. Agents may compete for work. One agent offers a lower price. Another offers higher quality. A manager chooses. The platform measures performance. Agents build reputations. This sounds like a freelance marketplace for software workers. The difference is that the workers can be copied. If one agent performs well, thousands of instances can run. Supply is not limited in the same way as human labor. Compute becomes the constraint. This can push prices down quickly. A successful agent may become cheap because competitors can reproduce the function. The moat must come from data, distribution, trust, integration, or brand. The code alone may not be enough. This is why vertical expertise matters. An insurance claims agent trained around one carrier's rules and connected to its systems cannot be copied easily. A general claims agent can. Deep deployment creates defensibility. It also increases implementation cost. This brings professional services back into the story. The dream of software is self-service. Click a button. Deploy an agent. Save money. The reality inside enterprises is different. Processes are messy. Data is incomplete. Policies conflict. Employees use unofficial workarounds. Permissions are unclear. Legacy systems do not have clean APIs. Nobody agrees on what the correct workflow should be. An agent cannot automate a process the company does not understand. Consultants and integrators are needed. They map the process, clean the data, connect systems, define approvals, test edge cases, train employees at the end, monitor performance. This creates a large service market. The software company may earn recurring revenue. The consulting partner earns implementation fees. The project can become expensive before the agent completes one useful task. This can slow adoption. It can also create strong lock-in. Once the agent is connected deeply, replacing it is difficult. Professional services are often seen as a weakness because margins are lower than software. In the agent market, they may be necessary to reach value. The most successful vendors may create standardized deployment methods to reduce service costs. Templates, industry blueprints, Preble Connect, evaluation libraries, policy packs, common workflows. Every reusable component improves margin. This is how services become software over time. The first customer requires custom work. The 10th uses a template. The 100th installs a product. The business model matures. The agent startup that learns fastest can turn repeated consulting into a scalable platform. This is one of the best startup opportunities. Start with a narrow service. Use agents internally. Learn the workflow. Automate more. then sell the system. A company may begin as an AI-enabled agency. It charges customers for a result. Behind the scenes, humans and agents work together. As the software improves, human cost falls. Margins rise. The customer may never know which parts are automated. This is the service as software model. It reverses traditional SaaS. Traditional SaaS sells a tool and asks the customer to operate it. Service as software sells the result and operates the tool internally. This is attractive because customers prefer outcomes. It is difficult because the vendor carries operational risk. The company must deliver. Missed deadlines are not software bugs. They are service failures. The agent company needs customer operations, quality control, and exception handling. This can create a stronger business than pure software in markets where customers do not want another tool. Small businesses especially may prefer, do this for me, not use software that helps you do it. An agent can make that promise scalable. Marketing agencies, bookkeeping, recruiting, customer support, sales development, research, compliance reporting, content operation. Many service markets can be rebuilt this way. The agent is not sold separately. It is the hidden labor engine. The company charges the same way the old service firm charged. Monthly retainer, project fee, percentage of revenue, per transaction. The difference is cost structure. A traditional agency grows by hiring people. An agent IC agency grows by adding compute and supervisor. This can produce higher margins. It can also produce quality disasters if automation expands too quickly. The eighth rule is that some of the biggest agent companies may not describe themselves as agent companies. They will look like better service businesses. The customer buys the outcome. The agent remains invisible. This may be the most important business model of all. People do not care whether an invoice was processed by an agent. They care that it was correct. They do not care whether research was performed by 5 humans or 1 agent and 1 reviewer. They care about quality, speed, and price. AI becomes infrastructure inside the service. The visible category may not change. The economics do. The invisible agent model also changes competition. A company that sells bookkeeping software competes with other bookkeeping software. A company that sells completed bookkeeping competes with accountants, outsourcing firms, and internal finance teams. The market becomes larger. The operating burden becomes larger too. Software vendors love gross margins. Service businesses live with exceptions. A customer sends a damaged document. A bank feed breaks. A tax rule changes. A payment is duplicated. An employee enters the wrong data. The agent does not understand the situation. A human must intervene. The cost of exceptions determines the business. If 90% of work is automated, but the final 10% consumes expert attention, the margin may still be poor. The best agent businesses do not only improve average performance, they reduce the expensive tail. The rare cases, the confusing cases, the high-risk cases. This requires design. The agent should know when it is uncertain. It should ask for help before causing damage. It should provide context to the human reviewer. It should learn from the exception without creating new risks. Human escalation is not a failure. It is part of the product. A good agent business model prices the human layer honestly. Some vendors pretend the agent is fully autonomous, then hide large operations teams behind the interface. This can create fast growth and weak economics. The company appears like software. Its costs look like outsourcing. Investors eventually notice the durable model is transparent internally, even if the customer sees one product. How many tasks require human review? How long does review take? Which categories fail? Can the workflow be improved? Does each new customer create new exceptions? These numbers matter more than the demo. This is why narrow agents often beat general agents in business. A general agent can perform many tasks. A narrow agent can be optimized for one. Clear tools, known data, limited permissions, repeatable outcomes, measurable quality. Predictable cost. The narrow agent may look less impressive. It may create more profit. A startup promising an agent that runs the entire company attracts attention. A startup automating one painful insurance workflow may build a better business. The difference is operational depth. Insurance illustrates the opportunity. Claims contain documents, images, policies, customer communication, fraud checks, estimates, and approvals. An agent can collect information, classify the claim, compare policy terms, request missing documents, draft messages, recommend next steps. The value is large because claims processing is expensive and slow, but the agent cannot make uncontrolled decisions. A mistake can create financial loss, legal problems, and customer harm. The business model may charge per claim processed, per document reviewed, or per successful automation. The vendor may guarantee service levels. It may share savings. It may carry liability. The closer the pricing moves to the claim outcome, the more the vendor resembles an insurance operations company. This is where industry expertise becomes a moat. The best model is not enough. The company must understand claims, regulation, fraud, customer expectation, human escalation. The agent business rewards people who know the work. This may surprise the technology industry. For years, software founders could enter industries without deep operating experience and build tools. Agents are closer to workers. Workers must understand the job. The strongest agent startups may be founded by people from law, finance, logistics, healthcare, construction, or insurance. Combined with strong technical teams, industry knowledge becomes product architecture. Legal agents show the same pattern. A model can summarize a contract. An agent can receive the contract, identify risks, compare company policies, suggest edits, root approval, update the document, and record the decision. That is much more valuable. It is also more dangerous. A wrong clause can cost millions. The agent vendor may charge per document, per matter, per legal team seat, or through an enterprise license. Outcome pricing is difficult because the value of legal work often appears later. A contract reviewed today may prevent a dispute years from now. How do you price avoided risk? Many legal agent businesses will remain subscription or usage-based. Others will sell managed review services with human lawyers. The human layer provides trust and legal accountability. The agent provides speed and margin. Healthcare agents face even stricter limits. Administrative work is enormous. Scheduling, prior authorization, medical coding, documentation, insurance verification, patient communication. These processes create attractive agent markets because they consume time and at measurable cost. Clinical decisions are more sensitive. The business model may focus first on administration. Charge per appointment scheduled, per authorization completed, per chart processed, per call handled, per clinician seat. The agent saves labor without making a diagnosis. This is a common market strategy. Start where risk is lower. Build trust. Move gradually toward more valuable decisions. The business model follows the risk curve. Low-risk tasks support consumption pricing. High-risk tasks may require human review, warranties, insurance, and enterprise contracts. Risk becomes part of price. A cheap agent with no liability may be less attractive than an expensive agent backed by guarantees. This creates opportunities for insurers. Agent terror insurance, cyber coverage, professional liability, performance guarantees. A vendor may include protection in the price. The customer pays more for confidence. The agent market can create a new insurance market around digital work. Finance agents also reveal the importance of control. An agent can reconcile accounts, prepare reports, investigate anomalies, collect invoices, forecast cash. But moving money is different from preparing information. The permissions must be narrow. A payment may require human approval. A new vendor may require verification. A large amount may trigger another review. The business model may charge for automated transactions or managed processes. The security system becomes part of the value. Customers do not only pay because the agent is intelligent, they pay because it is controlled. This is a major shift in where agent companies can earn money. The first generation of AI products sold capability. The next generation will sell safe capability, identity, permissions, audit, policy, monitoring, approval, containment. The agent that can act creates risk. The control layer turns risk into an enterprise product. This is why Microsoft, Salesforce, ServiceNow, Google, cloud providers, and security vendors are building agent governance. Every agent needs an identity. Who created it? Who owns it? Which systems can it access? Which data can it read? Which actions can it take? How much can it spend? When does access expire? Who approves changes? What happens when the employee who created it leaves? The same questions companies ask about human workers now apply to digital workers. This creates a business model similar to identity and access management. Companies already pay to manage human identities. They may pay to manage millions of machine and agent identities. The number of agents can exceed the number of employees. One employee may create several. One workflow may use many specialized agents. A customer-facing service may run thousands of instances. Identity vendors see a new market. Charge per agent, per managed identity, per policy evaluation, per protected action, per enterprise. The security layer can become more valuable than the agent builder. This happened in other technology markets. Cloud computing created cloud security. Mobile created mobile device management. Software as a service created identity platform. Agents create agent control plane. The control plane may include discovery, identity, permissions, observability, evaluation, compliance, budgets, and kill switches. This is a recurring revenue business. The customer may experiment with many agent applications. The control plane remains. This is why platform companies want to own it. The application changes. The governance layer becomes infrastructure. The ninth rule is that the most durable agent revenue may come from managing agents, not building individual agents. A single agent can be copied. A control system becomes embedded across the company. The control plane also solves shadow agents. Employees can build automations without central approval. A marketing employee connects an agent to customer data. A developer gives a coding agent repository access. A finance employee uploads sensitive file. The company loses visibility. A governance platform discovers these agents and applies policy. This sounds like security software because it is security software. The agent boom may create a large market for finding the very agents vendors encouraged employees to build. This is not hypocrisy. Every technology expands first and gets controlled later. Personal computers spread before companies developed full device management. Cloud services spread before cloud security matured. Agents will follow the pattern faster because the risks are obvious. The business model may bundle governance into enterprise agent platform. Basic builder is free. Governance requires a premium license. This is a classic enterprise strategy. Make creation easy. Charge for control. The larger the deployment, the more control matters. Microsoft can provide Copilot Studio for creation and connect usage to Copilot credits, while governance and identity fit into its wider enterprise stack. Salesforce can offer agent for actions, data cloud, CRM integration, and platform governance. ServiceNow can connect agents to workflows and orchestration. Model providers can offer agent development tools while charging for model usage. Each company monitors the layer it already owns. The 10th rule is that agent companies usually build their pricing around their existing advantage. A model company charges for intelligence. A software company charges for workflow usage. A cloud company charges for infrastructure. A security company charges for control. A marketplace charges for transactions. A service company charges for outcomes. This makes the market easier to understand. The product may be called an agent. The business model reveals what the company really is. OpenAI and Anthropic operate major model platforms. Their core economics include usage of models and enterprise subscription. Agents increase model usage because one task can require many calls. Chatbot response may be one interaction. An agent loop can continue. Search, read, reason. Act, check, reason again. Every loop consumes intelligence. This is attractive to the model provider. More agent adoption means more API revenue. But model providers also want to move up the stack. If they provide the agent interface, tools, memory, connectors, and enterprise product, they capture more value and own the customer. This creates conflict with application companies. The model provider says, build on our platform, then launches a product that competes with the builder. Developers have seen this pattern in cloud markets. The platform enables an ecosystem and enters the most valuable categories. Agent startups must decide how dependent to become. Using a leading model can improve quality and speed. It can also create margin risk. The provider changes prices, introduces a competing feature, restricts usage, controls availability. The startup may support multiple models to reduce dependence. Multi-model architecture becomes business insurance. The application can route work and negotiate. This creates an opportunity for model gateways. One interface to multiple model providers. Cost optimization. Fallback. Monitoring. Policy. A gateway can take a usage margin or platform. It becomes a broker in the intelligence market. Cloud brokers existed before. Agent systems make routing more important because tasks vary. A simple extraction does not need an expensive reasoning model. A difficult planning step may. A voice interaction needs low latency. A compliance review needs strong reliability. The gateway routes each job. This can save money. It also creates another layer taking value. The market will test whether customers prefer direct relationships or aggregation. Large enterprises may use gateways for control. Small developers may prefer one provider. The agent itself may choose models dynamically. This is a strange future. A digital worker shops for intelligence as it works. The business model can include arbitrage. Buy cheaper model capacity. Sell completed tasks at a fixed price. Improve routing. Keep the difference. The agent company becomes a labor contractor using a market of machine intelligence. This is one reason outcome pricing can become profitable as model costs fall. The vendor charges the customer based on stable value. Underlying intelligence becomes cheaper. Margin expands. This resembles software history. Hardware became cheaper. Software companies kept prices based on value. Model providers may resist becoming commodity suppliers. They will differentiate through quality, safety, speed, tools, and ecosystem. Application companies want models to become interchangeable. The power struggle will continue. Data is another layer. Agents need information to make decisions. Public models know general knowledge. Businesses need current internal data, customer records, inventory, contracts, prices, policies, mails, documents, operational status. The agent must retrieve this information securely. Data platforms can charge for storage, processing, retrieval, and governance. An agent that increases data usage creates revenue for data companies. Snowflake, Databricks, cloud databases, search platforms, and enterprise systems all have opportunities. The agent business may increase the value of well-organized data. Companies spent years creating data lakes that employees rarely used. Agents can turn the data into action. This creates a new sales pitch. Do not buy the data platform only for analytics. Buy it because your digital workers need a trusted memory. The data platform becomes the knowledge supply chain. Bad data creates bad work. The agent may confidently act on an outdated policy. A duplicate customer record creates a mistake. Missing context causes an incorrect decision. Data quality becomes operational risk. Vendors can charge for cleaning, indexing, access control, and real-time synchronization. This is another reason agent projects become expensive. The model may be ready. The company is not. The agent exposes the condition of the business process. If the workflow is undocumented, the agent struggles. If the data is bad, the agent fails. If permissions are chaotic, the agent is dangerous. Agents can create value. They also reveal organizational debt. Consultants can make money fixing that debt. The agent project becomes the reason to modernize systems. Cloud migration, API development, identity cleanup, data governance, process redesign. This creates revenue far beyond the agent license. A $10,000 pilot can lead to a $10 million transformation. Large enterprise vendors understand this. The agent is the new front door to older products. A company wants an agent. The vendor sells data integration, cloud, security, workflow software, and consulting. The agent may be the smallest line item. This is the 11th rule. The visible agent can be a sales tool for the invisible enterprise stack. This mirrors previous technology waves. Mobile apps sold cloud infrastructure. Analytics sold data warehouses. Cybersecurity old identity systems. AI agents can pull through the entire software port. This is why large companies market agents so aggressively even when direct agent revenue remains small. The strategic value is broader. Agent standards may determine which platforms capture the ecosystem. An agent needs tools. It needs a standard way to discover and call them. It may need to communicate with other agents. Protocols such as MCP and DAI are attempts to create common rails. Standards reduce integration cost. A tool can connect once and serve many agents. An agent can move between platforms more easily. This helps adoption. It can also reduce platform lock-in. If everything is portable, the customer can switch. Platform companies want standards that expand the market while keeping valuable control points. This is a familiar strategy. Support open connections. Own the identity, distribution, and management layer. The web was open, but browsers, search engines, and cloud platforms captured value. The agent internet may be open at the protocol level while concentrated at the control level. Who authenticates the agent? Who approves tools? Who handles payment? Who records actions? Who resolves dispute? Who assigns reputation? These functions can support business models. A tool provider may charge every time an agent calls it. A data service may charge per query. A payment network may charge per transaction. An identity platform may charge per authentication. An agent marketplace may take a fee. A monitoring service may charge per trace. The agent performs one task and generates revenue across the network. This looks like the web economy compressed into one automated workflow. It also creates cost stacking. A travel agent searches flights through an API, calls a model, uses a map service, checks reviews, processes payment, buys insurance. Each service charges. The final task may be expensive. The agent platform must decide which tools are worth using. Tool selection becomes procurement. Agents may negotiate prices or choose cheaper providers. Tool companies will optimize for agent discovery, just as websites optimized for search engine. This creates agent engine optimization. Make the tool understandable, reliable, fast, well documented, easy to authenticate, easy to price. Agents may become major customers of API. The customer relationship shifts from human interface to machine interface. A restaurant may not need a beautiful booking website if agents use the reservation API. A retailer may focus on structured product data for shopping agents. A hotel may compete to be selected by travel agents. The agent becomes the buyer's representative. This can disrupt advertising. Humans respond to branding and emotional messages. Agents may compare price, quality, policy, and fit. Brands will try to influence the agent. Sponsored data, preferred integrations, commissions, exclusive inventory. The commercial battle moves into machine-readable systems. Agent platforms can monetize this access. A shopping agent may be free to the user and funded by merchant. A business purchasing agent may charge the employer and reject commission. Different trust models will emerge. The platform that represents the user has a duty to the user. The platform that represents sellers has a duty to sellers. An agent representing both creates conflict. Clear roles will matter. This may lead to buyer agents and seller agents. The buyer agent searches for the best terms. The seller agent manages price and inventory. They negotiate. The platform charges both or takes a transaction fee. Commerce becomes machine to machine. This is not science fiction in principle. Advertising exchanges already perform automated auctions in milliseconds. Financial markets use automated agents. Procurement systems exchange structured data. Language models make these systems more flexible. The business model may resemble marketplaces, exchanges, or payment networks. Small fees across huge transaction volume. The most valuable agent company may not charge for intelligence at all. It may charge for moving money. This is the 12th rule. When agents can transact, payments become more valuable than conversation. A company earns more from one hotel booking commission than from thousands of model tokens. This is why commerce is a major destination for consumer agents. The assistant builds trust through free help, then captures value when the user buys. Search engines followed this model through advertising. Marketplaces use transaction fees. Agents can combine both, but user trust is fragile. The agent may become a gatekeeper. Merchants that pay receive access. Others disappear. Regulators may treat the platform like a marketplace or broker. Transparency and competition rules will matter. Consumer agent business models may include subscriptions, ads, affiliate revenue, transaction fees, financial services, and premium services. The free assistant can become a distribution machine. The user asks for help with everything. That creates high-intent commercial moments. Travel, shopping, education, home, services, insurance, finance, healthcare, entertainment. The agent knows context across categories. This can make it more powerful than search. Search sees a query. An agent may see the user's plan. The business opportunity is enormous. So is the privacy concern. A company that monetizes personal agents may know what the user wants before the user buys. The platform can steer decisions. The business model must be visible enough that users understand the incentive. Paid agents may market themselves as aligned. No ad, no commissions. The customer pays directly. This creates a premium trust model. Free agents may use commerce to subsidize access. The market can support both. The difference will resemble financial advice, the only advisor versus commission-based broker. Both can operate. The user needs disclosure. Enterprise agents avoid advertising but face internal politics. Which department pays? An agent may serve sales, support, finance, and operation. The central IT team buys the platform. Business units consume credits. Finance allocates cost. This creates chargeback systems. Usage must be tagged by department, agent, workflow, and outcome. The platform that provides detailed allocation makes enterprise adoption easier. Without it, one department can consume the shared budget. This is another reason credits and metering matter. They are not just pricing tools. They are organizational tools. A company can give every team an agent budget. The team decides how to spend it. This may accelerate experimentation. It can also create waste. Employees build duplicate agents. Many are used once. Others remain active with permission. The governance platform must track lifecycle. Create, test, approve, deploy, monitor, retire. Lifecycle management becomes a subscription feature. The agent is treated like an employee in an application at the same time. This is why the category is so rich. Every existing enterprise market can be rebuilt around agents. Human resources becomes agent workforce management. Cyber becomes agent identity protection. Cloud cost management becomes agent cost optimization. Application monitoring becomes agent observability. App stores become agent marketplaces. Consulting becomes workflow redesign. Outsourcing becomes services software. Payments become agent transactions. Software licenses become digital labor contracts. The business model behind AI agents is not one model. It is a collision of many industries. The collision creates a question investors care about. Where will the profit concentrate? The obvious answer is model provided. They sell the intelligence used by every agent. More agents mean more usage, but infrastructure markets often become competitive. Model prices can fall. Open models can improve. Cloud providers can negotiate discounts. Applications can route between models. The intelligence layer may remain valuable without capturing most of the value. The same happened with other technologies. Database software was important. The applications using the database often captured more customer value. Internet bandwidth was essential. Companies built on the internet created larger consumer businesses. Payment infrastructure is critical. Marketplaces and software companies can capture more of the transaction. The final outcome depends on scarcity. If frontier intelligence remains scarce, model providers keep pricing power. If good enough intelligence becomes abundant, value moves upward into workflow, distribution, data, and trust. This is why every model company is moving beyond the model. Agents, enterprise products, coding tools, consumer assistance, search, commerce. They do not want to become wholesale intelligence suppliers. They want the end customer. Application companies move downward for the opposite reason. They optimize models, build proprietary data, operate infrastructure, reduce API dependence. Everyone moves toward the most profitable layer. The stack becomes crowded. The likely winners have one of 5 advantages. The first is distribution. A company already reaches the user. Microsoft reaches workers through Office, Teams, Windows, GitHub, and enterprise agreements. Salesforce reaches sales and service teams through CRM. ServiceNow reaches IT and operations through workflow. Google reaches users through search, Android, Chrome, and Workspace. A startup must pay to acquire customers. An incumbent can place an agent inside an existing product. Distribution lowers sales cost. It also creates default behavior. The agent already has context. The user does not need another account. This is powerful. The second advantage is proprietary workflow data. A model can write a sales email. A CRM knows the customer history. A claims platform knows previous decision. A logistics system knows routes and inventory. A legal platform knows contracts and policies. The agent connected to this data can act better than a general assistant. The more work it performs, the more feedback it collects. Successful actions, failed actions, human corrections, outcome data. This can improve the system. The workflow creates a data flywheel. The vendor learns how the job is actually done. That knowledge is difficult to copy. The third advantage is trust. A company may test a new chatbot casually. It will not give financial permissions to an unknown vendor easily. Enterprise agents require security reviews, legal contracts, compliance, insurance, support, reliability. A trusted vendor can sell faster. This favors incumbents and specialized companies with strong reputation. Trust is not branding alone. It is evidence, audit logs, certification, customer references, uptime, clear data handling, human support. The vendor must prove the agent can be controlled. The fourth advantage is outcome ownership. A vendor that owns the entire process can improve it. A tool that performs one step depends on other systems. An end-to-end agent can redesign the workflow. It may remove unnecessary steps, combine tasks, change the sequence. The biggest productivity gains often come from changing the process, not automating the old one exactly. This gives vertical agent companies an opportunity. They can rebuild the service around AI. An incumbent may add an agent to legacy software. The startup can create an AI native operation. The difference resembles digital banks versus banks with mobile apps. One redesigned the system, the other added an interface. The fifth advantage is cost control. The agent that produces the same outcome at lower cost wins. This requires model routing, caching, efficient prompts, specialized tools to data, fewer retries, and limited human review. Cost engineering becomes a core capability. A company may have a great product and bad margin. Another may have a less impressive demo and excellent economics. The market eventually rewards the second. This leads to the most important financial metric in agent businesses: gross margin after intelligence and human review. Not software gross margin before model cost. Not revenue growth before operation. The real cost includes model inference, search and delay PIVs, cloud infrastructure, data storage, human escalation, quality review, customer support, security and compliance, failed actions, refunds, liability, implementation. A vendor can describe itself as software while carrying all of these variable costs. Investors must look underneath. If revenue doubles, does human headcount double? If every customer needs custom integration, is the product scalable? If model prices increase, does margin collapse? If customers use the agent more, does the company make more money or lose more money? Usage growth is not always good. A poorly priced agent can become less profitable as it succeeds. This is why pricing design is strategic. Consider flat subscription pricing. The customer loves predictability. The vendor carries usage risk. Light users are profitable. Heavy users may be expensive. The company adds fair use limits. Power users complain. The vendor introduces premium plans. This is the consumer AI pattern. Consider pure consumption pricing. The vendor protects margin. The customer worries about surprise cost. Adoption slows because employees do not know whether one click triggers a large bill. The vendor adds dashboards and budget. Consider outcome pricing. The customer likes alignment. The vendor faces attribution and risk. The company chooses narrow outcomes it can measure. Consider seat pricing. Procurement understands it. The agent creates value beyond the seat. Revenue may not grow with usage. The vendor adds consumption. The market moves toward hybrid pricing because no single model solves every problem. A common structure may be B: platform fee, included usage, additional credits, premium models, enterprise governance, professional services, optional outcome fees. This looks complicated. Enterprise software is often complicated because different parts of value must be captured. The simpler consumer version may be free entry, monthly subscription, usage limits, transaction revenue. The business model should match user behavior. An agent used daily by one professional fits a subscription. An agent serving millions of customer interactions fits consumption. An agent delivering a measurable business result fits outcome pricing. An agent enabling third-party developers fits platform and marketplace fees. The problem comes when vendors choose pricing based on outcome. Pricing sounds modern. It is wrong when the outcome cannot be attributed. Seat pricing sounds old. It works when the agent is a personal productivity tool. Consumption sounds fair. It feels dangerous when users cannot predict it. Good pricing is a product feature. The customer should understand what creates cost. The vendor should understand what creates value. Both should improve when usage grows. This alignment is difficult and important. Outcome pricing deserves a deeper look because many people describe it as the future. The idea is compelling. Do not charge for software. Charge for success. A recruiting agent charges per qualified candidate. A support agent charges per resolved issue. A sales agent charges per meeting. A legal agent charges per completed review. A finance agent charges per processed invoice. The customer pays only when work is delivered. This reduces adoption risk. It also makes the vendor confident. But outcomes have different quality levels. A resolved support issue can create a dissatisfied customer. A meeting can be unqualified. A candidate can leave quickly. An invoice can be processed incorrectly. A legal review can miss an important risk. The vendor may optimize the metric and damage the business. This is Goodhart's law in digital labor. When a measure becomes the target, it stops being a good measure. Human outsourcing contracts already face this problem. Call centers measured by call duration may rush customers. Sales teams measured by meetings may book low-quality conversation. Agents can optimize the same bad incentives faster. Outcome pricing needs balanced metrics. Resolution plus satisfaction. Meeting plus qualification. Invoice completion plus error rate. Speed plus compliance. The contract becomes complex. The vendor and customer need shared definition. This is not impossible. It is operationally demanding. The strongest outcome pricing companies may begin in areas where the unit is already standardized. Payment processed. Package delivered. Appointment booked. Claim reviewed. Document classified. Fraud case investigated. The industry already measures these units. The agent enters an existing transaction. In vague knowledge work, outcome pricing may remain difficult. What is the outcome of strategy advice? Better decision. Revenue months later. Avoided mistakes. Subscription is easier. The future will contain both. Another danger is adverse selection. A vendor charges for successful resolution. The customer sends the hardest cases because easy cases are handled elsewhere. The agent's cost rises. The vendor raises prices. The customer complains. Insurance markets understand this problem. Outcome day-stage agent contracts may need risk adjustment, different prices for different case complexity. The agent classifies the task before accepting it. This creates another opportunity for pricing engine. Estimate difficulty. Predict cost. Quote a price. The agent economy may develop dynamic pricing for digital work. A simple request costs little. A complicated request costs more. The customer approves before execution. This resembles cloud spot pricing, freelance quotes, and insurance underwriting. The system must prevent manipulation. Customers may misdescribe tasks. Vendors may overestimate complexity. Transparency matters. The business can become sophisticated quickly. Another model is shared saving. The agent vendor measures the customer's cost before deployment. After deployment, the vendor receives a percentage of verified savings. This aligns incentive. It also creates long negotiations and measurement disputes. What would cost have been without the agent? Did volume change? Did employees perform different work? Were layoffs caused by the system? How should implementation expenses be counted? Shared savings works best with strong baseline data. Large consulting firms use similar models. Agent companies may adopt them for large enterprise deals. Revenue sharing is another outcome model. An e-commerce agent improves conversion. The vendor takes a percentage of incremental sales. A collections agent recovers money. The vendor takes a cut. A procurement agent negotiates lower prices. The vendor shares the savings. These models can produce high revenue. They expose the vendor to business cycles and customer reporting. They also create incentives to focus on measurable money. The agent market may move toward financial outcomes faster than productivity outcomes. Revenue is easier to count than time saved. Time saved can disappear. An employee saves 10 hours. The company does not reduce cost or produce more. The value is theoretical. This is a major problem in AI return on investment claims. Vendors calculate hours saved. Customers need economic results. Did output increase? Did headcount growth slow? Did customer wait time fall? Did revenue rise? Did risk decline? Saved time creates value only if the organization uses it. This is why workflow redesign matters. Adding an agent without changing responsibilities may produce no financial gain. Employees continue the old process and review everything the agent does. Work increases. The vendor reports productivity. The company feels burden. Successful deployment changes the operating model. What work should the agent own? What should the human own? When should review occur? Which steps can disappear? Who is accountable? How are teams measured? OI transformation is management transformation. The software price is only one part. This favors vendors that can guide organizational change. It also explains why pilots often fail to scale. A pilot shows the agent can perform a task. Scaling requires process ownership, trust data, security, training, and budget. The company must decide what happens to the people doing the old work. Managers may resist because automation reduces their team size. Employees may avoid the tool because they fear replacement. The agent can be technically successful and politically blocked. The business model must account for change management. Some vendors sell to executives with cost-saving promises. Users see a threat. Adoption suffers. Others position agents as assistants. Users adopt them. The vendor gradually expands autonomy. This can be more effective. The path to digital labor may begin with augmentation. Trust grows through useful help. The agent suggests, then drafts, then acts with approval, then acts independently within limits. Autonomy is earned. Pricing can follow the same ladder. Seat subscription for assistant, usage for actions, outcome pricing for own workflows. This is a natural commercial progression. The vendor should not demand outcome pricing before it can own the outcome. The customer should not grant autonomy before the agent has proved reliability. The product and business model mature together. This creates a life cycle for agent companies. Stage 1, demo. The agent performs an impressive task. Revenue is small. Stage 2, pilot. The agent works in a controlled environment. Professional services are high. Stage 3, production. The agent handles real volume. Observability, security, and cost control matter. Stage for workflow ownership. The customer redesigns operations around the agent. Switching cost rises. Stage 5, outcome contract. The vendor shares risk and value. Not every company reaches stage 5. Many remain tools. That can still be a large business. The danger is pretending to be a digital labor company while selling a feature. Agent washing has become common. A product adds a chat interface and calls it an agent. The system cannot plan, cannot use tools, cannot complete work. The label attracts attention. The business model remains ordinary SaaS. This creates customer confusion. Over time, buyers will ask harder questions. What actions can it take? How often does it complete the task? What permissions does it need? What is the error rate? How much human review? What is the cost per successful outcome? Can we inspect the logs? Can we switch models? Can we stop it? The market will become more disciplined. Weak agents lose novelty. Strong agents prove economics. This will separate real businesses from marketing. The coding agent market provides an early example. Developers can quickly test whether the agent is useful. Does it understand the repository? Can it complete a task? Do tests pass? Is the code maintainable? The feedback loop is fast. Products improve. Users are willing to pay. Usage can be intense. This market is advancing quickly because quality is measurable and buyers are technical. Customer support is another early market because volume and cost are measurable. Sales agents attract huge interest because revenue is valuable. But poor behavior can damage brands. Research agents create value but face attribution challenges. Personal agents have broad appeal but uncertain monetization. The strongest early categories combine 3 qualities: high labor cost, digital inputs and outputs, clear success metrics. This is a useful filter. Warehouse robotics has high labor cost but physical complexity. Executive strategy is digital input but unclear success metrics. Invoice processing has all 3. Support ticket resolution has all 3. Software testing has all 3. This helps explain where agent companies will make money. The market will expand as reliability improves. Voice agents deserve special attention. Phone calls remain central in healthcare, insurance, restaurants, home services, banking, and customer support. Voice models can speak naturally. An agent can answer calls. schedule, qualify, collect information, and route issues. The business model often charges per minute. This mirrors telecommunications. It is easy to meter, but the value is per outcome. A 10-minute failed call costs more than a 2-minute successful call. Per minute pricing can create bad incentive. The vendor earns more when calls last longer. Customers will demand performance metrics. Voice agents may move toward per appointment, per qualified lead, or per resolution. The underlying costs include speech recognition, model inference, voice generation, telephony, and integrations. Latency matters. A slow response feels unnatural. Reliability affects conversion. The business combines telecom economics with software and labor. This is a good example of agent markets creating new hybrids. Another hybrid is robotic agents. The agent controls a machine. Revenue can come from hardware sales, software subscriptions, usage, maintenance, and robotics as a service. A warehouse robot may be priced per hour or per item moved. A delivery robot may be priced per delivery. An industrial inspection robot may be priced per site. The digital agent reaches the physical world. Outcome pricing becomes more natural because the task is measurable. Capital costs become significant. The company may finance hardware and collect recurring revenue. This resembles equipment leasing and labor outsourcing. AI agents extend far beyond pure software. The business model behind them can include finance. The company owns robots. The customer pays monthly. Utilization determines return. Maintenance affects margin. This is another reason the word agent covers too much. A browser agent and a factory robot share autonomy but have different economics. The investor must understand the actual unit. What is produced? What is consumed? Who pays? What can fail? The label alone means little. Multi-agent systems create another layer. One agent plans, another researches, another executes, another checks. A supervisor agent coordinates them. This can improve quality. It can also multiply cost. Every agent uses models and tools. A task that looks simple becomes a digital organization. Vendors may charge by total actions or workflow size. ServiceNow and other platforms already think in terms of orchestrated workflows and agent teams. Microsoft and Salesforce are building systems where multiple agents can operate across business processes. The customer does not want to count every internal message. The vendor needs a pricing abstraction. The multi-agent system may be sold as one workflow. This is similar to a consulting team. The customer pays for the project, not every conversation between employees. Internally, the vendor optimizes team cost. The supervisor should not use an expensive model for every coordination step. Specialized agents should be efficient. The economics resemble organizational design. Too many agents create bureaucracy. They communicate instead of working. This is a real risk. And multi-agent demo can look sophisticated while producing more latency and cost than one well-designed work. The business model rewards simplicity. If the vendor charges consumption, it may benefit from complexity. The customer pays more. This misalignment can damage trust. Enterprise buyers will demand cost per outcome, not number of agent interactions. The best platforms will show both. Another future model is agent-to-agent payment. An agent needs research. It hires a research agent, needs a translation, pays a translation agent, needs insurance, buys a policy, needs delivery, pays a logistics agent. Microtransactions move between services. The platform takes a fee. This resembles an automated economy. Protocols, identity, reputation, and payment become essential. A service must prove it delivered. Disputes must be resolved. Fraud must be prevented. Agents can be attacked or manipulated. The payment network becomes a trusted intermediary. Large financial and technology companies may enter this market. The agent wallet can become a control point. How much can the agent spend? On which categories? Under what conditions? Who refunds errors? The wallet provider can charge transaction fees and enterprise management fees. Payments may become one of the most profitable layers because every action involving money passes through them. The same is true for identity. Every agent interaction may require authentication. The identity layer can collect recurring fees at scale. The future agent economy may look decentralized at the application layer and concentrated at the rails. Many agents, a few identity providers, a few payment networks, a few cloud platforms, a few model providers. This is common in technology. Diversity at the surface, concentration underneath. Regulation will respond. Who is responsible when an agent discriminates, sends a false message, makes an unauthorized purchase, leaks data, violates a law? The developer, the model provider, the platform, the company deploying it, the employee who approved it? Responsibility affects the business model. A vendor that accepts more liability can charge more. A platform may require developers to indemnify it. Insurance costs enter pricing. High-risk industries may prefer private deployments and enterprise contracts. Consumer agents may limit actions to reduce legal exposure. Regulation can favor large companies that can afford compliance. It can also create opportunities for specialized compliance platforms. Agentic, certification, evaluation, red teaming, monitoring, incident response. This is another recurring market. Risk creates software. The more autonomous agents become, the larger the safety industry around them. The security company earns whether the agent application wins or loses. This is the picks and shovels model. But safety vendors need access to agent behavior. Platform companies may bundle the feature. Independent vendors must prove they work across ecosystems. Cross-platform governance can be valuable because enterprises will use agents from many suppliers. One dashboard, one policy system, one risk. This can become a large independent category. The same applies to cost management. Cloud cost management became FinOps. Agent cost management may create agent FinOps. Track model spend. Tools, human review, outcome cost, department budgets, idle agents, duplicate workflows, optimize routing, negotiate vendor rates. As usage grows, companies will need it. A vendor may charge a percentage of savings. Another outcome model. This shows how agent business models generate secondary business models. The primary agent completes work. The surrounding companies secure, monitor, enhance, and optimize it. The ecosystem grows around complexity. Which companies will lose? Traditional outsourcing firms face pressure. If an agent company can deliver the same service at lower cost, labor-heavy providers lose margin, but outsourcing firms also have process knowledge customers in global operation. They can adopt agents. They may become major winners if they automate their own workforce. Business process outsourcing can become agent process operation. The company already owns the contract and knows the workflow. It adds AI, reduces labor, keeps price, margin rises. This may be easier than a startup replacing the provider. Incumbents with customer relationships can transform. The danger is organizational resistance. A labor-based business earns revenue from headcount. Automation reduces billable people. The old business model fights the new one. This is the innovator's dilemma. Consulting firms face a similar conflict. They charge for hours and teams. Agents can produce work. If the firm keeps billing by the hour, efficiency reduces revenue. It may move to fixed fees and outcome contracts. The firm using agents well can deliver more projects, but clients will demand lower prices. Professional services must redesign pricing. The agent economy does not only disrupt software, it disrupts how expertise is sold. Law firms bill hours. Advertising agencies bill retainers. Consultants bill teams. Recruiters charge percentages. Agents reduce labor input. The market may move toward value pricing. This sounds positive. It can be painful for firms built around billable time. The business model behind AI agents spreads into every knowledge industry. Employees may become supervisors of agents. One person manages many digital workers. The company buys fewer software seats but more agent capacity. This can weaken traditional SaaS metrics. Per seat expansion may slow at headcount. Software companies need consumption revenue to replace lost seats. This is another reason incumbents are moving quickly. Agents threaten their pricing model even when they own the software. If one sales employee with agents does the work of 3, the CRM vendor loses to seats. It needs to charge for the agents. Digital labor pricing protects revenue. This is the hidden motive behind many agent strategies. The vendor is not only chasing a new market, it is defending the old one. The seat economy assumes more employees create more software revenue. The agent economy may create more work with fewer employees. Software companies must tie revenue to work volume instead of headcount. Credits, actions, and consumption solve this. This may be the deepest financial reason behind the agent business model shift. The customer wants fewer costs. The software company wants revenue to grow even if customer headcount does not. Usage pricing aligns the vendor with activity. The company processes more cases. The vendor earns more. Even with fewer employees, this protects growth. It can also make software spending a larger share of labor savings. The customer eliminates salary cost and pays digital labor providers. Value moves from payroll to software and cloud. This is the enormous prize. A portion of the labor budget can become technology revenue. The global labor market is measured in tens of trillions. Software vendors do not need to capture all of it. A small percentage creates a massive industry. This is why executives speak so aggressively about digital labor. The total addressable market becomes almost unlimited. But market size is not profit. Agents must work. They must be trusted. They must be cheaper than the alternatives. They must survive regulation. They must integrate with reality. The opportunity is large because the difficulty is large. The final winners may not be the companies with the most impressive autonomous demos. They may be the companies that make agents boring, reliable, measurable, controlled, affordable, integrated. The customer stops thinking about artificial intelligence. The task gets done. This is when the business model becomes durable. A spreadsheet did not remain exciting forever. It became essential. Cloud computing stopped feeling magical. It became infrastructure. Agents will follow the same path. The novelty disappears. The economics remain. The market may settle into several layers. Model providers sell intelligence by usage and enterprise contracts. Cloud providers sell compute and hosting. Agent platforms sell creation, orchestration, governance, and credits. Application companies sell vertical workflows. Service as software companies sell outcomes. Marketplaces sell distribution and take transaction fees. Security companies sell control. Data companies sell trusted context. High-end networks sell transactions. Consultants sell transformation. The customer buys one result and funds the chain. Competition determines how much each layer keeps. The strongest position may be the one closest to the customer outcome while controlling enough of the infrastructure to protect margin. To low in the stack in the product becomes a commodity. To high without technical control and cost becomes dangerous. The best company connects both. Deep workflow ownership, efficient intelligence supply, trusted distribution, clear measurement. This is the ideal agent business. It knows what the task is worth. It knows what the task costs. It can prove the task was completed. It can repeat the task at scale. Everything else is storytelling. The future may contain agents with salaries and all but name. A department receives a budget. It allocates credits to digital workers. Each agent has permission, performance history, cost, specialization. A manager can hire, pause, copy, retrain, or retire it. The company compares digital and human capacity. This sounds cold. It may become normal. Businesses already compare outsourcing, software contractors and employees. Agents become another option. The ethical debate will be serious because the economic pressure is real. A competitor using agents can move faster and charge less. Other companies must respond. Adoption becomes competitive rather than optional. This is how technology spread. Not because everyone loves it, because refusing becomes expensive. The business model accelerates the spread. Outcome pricing lowers initial risk. Consumption pricing lowers commitment. Cloud delivery lowers infrastructure cost. Marketplaces lower discovery cost. Templates lower implementation cost. Governance lowers perceived risk. Each improvement removes a barrier. The agent economy grows. The process will not be smooth. Companies will waste money. Agents will make mistakes. Startups will fail. Pricing models will change. Vendors will rename credits. Customers will complain about bills. Some promised workers will turn out to be chatbots. Some outcome contracts will hide bad incentives. Some services will use more humans than advertised. This happened in every technology boom. The fraud and hype do not erase the real shift. Software is moving from recording work to performing work. Systems of record stored what happened. Systems of engagement help people communicate. Systems of intelligence recommended what to do. Systems of action do it. Agents are the interface to systems of action. That is why their business model matters. The company controlling action sits closer to money, risk, and operations than the company controlling information alone. A CRM records a sales opportunity. A sales agent contacts the customer. An ERP records an invoice. A finance agent processes it. A ticketing system records an issue. A support agent resolves it. The agent moves software into the transaction. This can increase value dramatically. It also increases responsibility. The vendor becomes part of the operation. The relationship with the customer deepens. The contract becomes harder to replace. This is the final rule. The closer software moves to doing the work, the closer the vendor moves to becoming part of the business itself. That is the promise behind AI agents. It is also the risk. A tool can fail and inconvenience the user. A worker can fail and damage the company. Agent vendors must build like software companies and operate like service companies. They need product speed and operational discipline, high margins and human judgment, automation and accountability. The companies that combine these opposites can create extraordinary businesses. The ones that ignore the contradiction may grow quickly and collapse under cost, errors, or trust. So what is the business model behind AI agents? It is not simply charging for token. It is not simply selling subscription. It is a new market for packaged work. At the bottom, electricity and chips create computation. Models turn computation into intelligence. Platforms turn intelligence into actions. Applications turn actions into workflows. Businesses turn workflows into outcomes. Money flows backward through the stack. The customer pays because something valuable happened. A ticket was resolved. A program was written. A meeting was booked. A claim was reviewed. A payment was collected. A shipment was planned. A patient was scheduled. A decision was prepared. The vendor's challenge is to capture part of that value without taking unlimited risk. The customer's challenge is to verify that the value is real. The market's challenge is to decide who is responsible when the work goes wrong. The old software industry sold tools to employees. The agent industry is learning how to sell the work itself. That change can move billions from payroll, consulting, outsourcing, and operations into software, cloud, and digital labor platforms. It can create new companies and strengthen old ones. It can make small teams more powerful. It can also concentrate control in the platforms that own identity, data, models, and distribution. The winner may not have the smartest agent. The winner may have the clearest unit of value, the lowest cost per successful task, the strongest workflow integration, the most trusted control layer, the best distribution, the best answer to one simple customer question: what did the agent actually do for us? When that answer is clear, pricing becomes easier. When pricing becomes easier, budgets move. When budgets move, the market becomes real. That is where the agent economy is going. Away from demos, away from vague productivity promises, toward measurable digital work. The first generation of software charged, the next charged for usage. The agent generation wants to charge for accomplishment. That is a much larger promise. And if the industry can keep it, the business model behind AI agents may become one of the largest business models technology has ever created.